Hey guys, it's lovely to have your company back here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. It's been a little while. Life's been busy, work life's been busy. I've not had a chance to get any brand new tutorials up, so I thought, right, let's spend an hour or so. Let's sit down, relax, chill, and we'll do a little bit of crafting while I film it for my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. As it stands at the moment, we are well and truly into the autumn time, that's for sure. And then what happens when we go from the summer into the autumn, my eyes and my skin flare up. So don't worry, I am absolutely fine. I am a-okay. I am tip-top. It's just what happens when we go into the autumn time. So please do not worry. But let's dive into something new. Now, what I will say when it comes to the craft boxes, I know many of you are enjoying the tutorials I do with the past craft boxes. Still doing them. It's just as I say, life's been busy, and because I do these in my spare time, I've not had a lot of spare time, and when I have, it's been resting. So I am still going to be doing them. Fingers crossed I'll get another one done next week for the next video, but they are still going to be done. So don't worry, but for this one, I thought let's start with something new, something brand new. It's not often that I do a tutorial on something brand new, and that's what we're going to do today. So before we dive in, those that of course still continue to subscribe, thank you so much. It absolutely means the world. When you give me the thumbs up as well when it comes to each tutorial, that also means the world. And if you do hit that bell notification, then it's most appreciated. And of course, for those that also comment as well, I do see them off. Kind of laxed a little bit in actually replying, but I do read them all because I still get the email notification of each individual comment that has been left. Hopefully you're going to be leaving lovely comments when it comes to what we're going to be making here. Now, I've got an idea of what we're going to be making, but the idea is in here. So we're going to go from here into there when it comes to the brand new cracker. This is our cracker die. Now, let me tell you this. I have been on at our product development team. I know I'm not the only one, but for me specifically, I've been on at our product development team for 5 years now. Please, can we have a Christmas cracker die? Please, can we have a cracker die? Please, can we have a cracker die? And we've got a cracker die this year. Now, it's a little bit of a different design of a cracker, but still, it's a cracker die, and these are so much fun, and you don't just have to use them for Christmas. Now, I know you guys stateside, you don't really, well, you don't do crackers. Here in the UK and a little bit beyond, we put a Christmas cracker on some put them on Christmas trees, tend to put them out on the Christmas dinner table. Inside, you get a hat, you get a joke, and then you also get like a little toy. Usually they're quite tacky, and that seems to be all the fun, is the tacky toy that's inside. What we also get, you don't get it with these ones, although you can buy them in stores. It's kind of like little bangers, little snappers to put inside, so you can pop them in as well. But other than that, you can get the cracker, and you can get the hat, the joke, and then you can put in a little gift yourself if you so wish. Now, with the cracker, the great thing with this one is we're going to make it as it has been intended, but you can make it longer, you can make it fuller if you want to, you can chop off one end and make it into a top cracker end box if you want to, you can cut into the panels if you want to. It's so versatile. But also when it comes to a cracker, it doesn't have to be Christmas. Yes, it's called Christmas cracker because that's when we tend to have crackers, is at Christmas time. Well, it really is the only time you can buy crackers in the shops is at Christmas time, whereas you can use these as a way to give a gift any time of the year. So we're actually going to do a little bit of a gold theme. We're actually going to go in and we're going to go and make it kind of like a wedding theme. So it could be for wedding favours, you could put wedding gifts in there if you want to. And I thought, what a great way to be using some of our floral Elegance. Perfect way, perfect combination to be using with the Christmas cracker, and that is exactly what we're going to be doing. Now, the actual cracker die, you will need a large die cutting machine, an A4 die cutting machine. All the other individual components, they're all going to go through things such as your Gemini Mini, so we'll probably go between them both, probably go with our G2 and then of course with our Gemini Mini, but you can go with whatever it is that you've got at home. So let's dive in. Let's dive straight in with our cracker here, and let's take the main basis of this cracker. So within this cracker, this is going to be 6-sided one. So I'm going to go in with my Floral Elegance, but for the actual base, I want to go in with our strong 250 GSM. And let's go this kind of muted stone colour. But we'll go stone. I don't know, because I kind of like that matte gold with the blue, or the navy blue. I'll go with, yeah, let's go with that, a little bit more neutral. So let's take that one out, and then let's move that out the way for now, and let's bring in our cracker, and I'm just going to trim that to make it a little bit easier. So we're going to bring in our plates. Now what I would say is the actual shape of the cracker will cut no problem without the magnetic shim. However, I am including the metal shim in there because I want the pressure to give that indentation lines of the actual score lines. So that's why I am going to, of course, just do that full plate configuration. The extra pressure pushing in with the score lines. Now, because this is a very simple shape die, you will find and you will hear that noise of the cracking, which is absolutely fine and it's absolutely normal. And then we've got our bases of our cracker. We don't need that. Keep all these bits because you can start to, once you've got quite a few different colours, you can then start to patch them together and then start to make backgrounds for your cards. So you can have a lot of fun when it comes to these diamond offcuts. Pop them in a little cello bag and then just keep using them. So let's bring this one in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to score. I'm not going to score, I'm going to fold the lines, and then I'm going to give them a good burnish. So I'm going to fold them, all of them, and then we can then start with the decoration. And then very, very similar to when you make a box or anything like that, you decorate. What I would do is I decorate it, and then I would then come along and then actually construct the cracker. So folding each of these ones, so every score line that you see, we're going to fold. You can enhance the score lines if you want to with a scoring tool. I personally don't find the need to, certainly not with the Gemini machine. But if you want to, you do have that option. Just rescore with your scoreboard. So working our way all along into its forum and then into that last one. And I love the fact that, yes, crackers are traditionally for Christmas, but when it comes to actual crackers, the way that you can decorate them in so many, many different ways is so, so incredible to see. So if I bring the cracker face on, what I've done with this one here, at the right hand side, I've gone in and done a mountain fold, so it's going up. This middle one in the centre of the diamonds, that's going to be valley, so it dips downwards, like so. These ones I don't tend to bother about burnishing. And then when it comes back to that next one there, that's also going to be a mountain. So fold inwards, like so. Burnish, and then we can see there is one side. We're going to repeat that again. So let's burnish, and then let's burnish, and then that middle one we can just fold in, and I'm just going to then pinch and push with my fingers And then there we go. That's then the basis of your 6-sided cracker. The hole within the centre will be a little bit smaller once you push that down. Now what you can do is you can make it 3-sided if you want. You can make it 4-sided if you want to, 5-sided, and it just means you're just chopping off section by section. Chop off the end without the glue tab, and then you can make it whatever side you want. So I'm going to set that one out the way, and then if I bring in the other dies, what we have got is we've got a Christmas one, and we've got two that aren't necessarily Christmas. We've got 2 tags, and then you've got a few little embellishments to decorate. So I'm going to go in with, let's go in with this one here. So this is where these can cut in or they can cut out. So let's actually do a little bit of both. So we can do a panel with that one, panel with that one, panel with that one. So let's go in with, so that one, so this one, and this one. Let's cut in, and we will stabilise the back with some acetate. You use vellum if you want to. I'm going to take some masking tape, and I'm going to get that as central as I can. I'm going to put tape on both sides so it doesn't move. And then let's go in with our plates. Let's pop that over the top. And then we're going to run that one through. I didn't have time to charge my other camera to then get it facing the Gemini. But all that I'm doing is I'm just running it through the G2 machine. And then when that one comes out, we're going to repeat that again another twice, but every second section. So we can then carefully prise that one out here. Now we've got that cut in aspect of our panel. And what's great as well is you don't need to remember which way it went. Because it's symmetrical, it means of course that you can then pop it down any way that you want. And I'm popping all these bits out. With this one, because you've got a couple of little squares like there and there on a diamond angle, these are ones that you could then selective paper pieced if you want. I'm going to try and be good with all my bits of waste, because I was about to say I cleaned my craft room. I hoovered my craft room, which was desperately needing done. You wouldn't think that I've got a big generic bin and then a recycling bin at the side of me. So I'll line that one. So I'm now going into that second one. And then once I've got that into position, lay that one down. I'm making sure that there's no little bits that have fallen onto my cracker because of the pressure of the Gemini. What will happen, of course, is any of those little bits of waste or that, that'll happen is that will leave an indentation in, of course, our cardstock, which I don't want. So just making sure it's nice and clean. I'm not doing a double cut. Although the die's just at the top, I could, of course, make it a little bit quicker and pause it and reverse it. But I don't want all that additional pressure onto my cardstock. So I just want one pass through. That just stops any little kind of nooks and crannies going over the top. And because I always try really well to keep my frosted shim really crisp, clean with no cuts, it means I get no indentations onto my cracker card. So we're going to do that again. Now you can of course use your die release tool, and that's what it's for. I don't tend to, because sometimes I find it just as quick to pop them all out with my pokey tool. So make sure all these little bits are out, which they are, and then we can do our final cut. So we're going to align that one up to the edge, or within the centre on the edge panel, tape down like so. And you could have alternated it, so that could have been one of the other panels, so that could be that panel, the other panel, and then back to that same panel again. Or you could use all three. I know one of them is specifically Christmas themed, but it doesn't matter. You could still, of course, use all three of them if you want to. Again, letting that run through. Don't want any additional pressure, so I'm not going to do the pause and then that reverse. So that one comes out here. Probably be the last time we need our large plates. So I'm going to then carefully prise that one out and that one out, and then we've got our cracker, still nice and smooth with no indents or that on it, with the cut in panels. That would also look nice if you put the cut in panels on all six. That would look fab. But I think it's nice as well when you off them, as in cut out, cut in, cut out, cut in, cut out, cut in. If you catch my drift. Right, so that's all of those ones. What I need to do is, let's see if I've got a loose bit of acetate. Here, am I in luck? Yes, awesome. So I've got a loose piece of acetate. Now, with your metal shim, you could, of course, cut the back panel and then stick that one on. But I find I'm just as quick to use my guillotine and then cut that panel. So if we have a look here, so each of these full rectangle panel is roughly 1 1/4 by 2.5. So 1 1/4 by 2.5. So let's come down 1/4 of an inch. So let's do 1 inch by 2 1/4. I'm just going to check that I'm going to have, obviously it will go on the back. Perfect, yes. So let's do another 3. So that's going to be 1 1/4 by 2.5, and then 1 and, oh no, it's 1, isn't it? The actual panel is 1 1/4. So 1 by 2.5, and then 1 by 2.5. So that's my 3 rectangle panels to go on the back, which is going to stabilise that, because that'll be just a little bit flimsy. Although it's 250 GSM, it's still going to make it a little bit flimsy. So then let's turn that one over, and then I'm going to go along. Let's use my, let me get a dotty tape runner for this. It's not often I use the dotty tape runners. Usually I use the tacky glue, even on acetate. However, if I use tacky glue, I'm away to flip my cracker on and start decorating on the outside, so then it can move, because you need to let acetate grab and hold for quite a wee while for it to dry. So let's take a little bit of scrap, and I'm going to go straight over the back, like so. And then let's come along. Well, I've obviously meant to do 2 1/4, I think, didn't I? Anyway, it doesn't matter. No one's going to see it, so we can just use our scissors. So we're going to give that a good press. If you've got coloured or foiled acetate, that would look smart. And then we're going to do the same again. So So if there is any excess, because it's acetate, I'm just going to rub that one off. Let's do that again on the back. And you know what, before we stick the acetate on, let's go in and let's pop the tape on both of them. Remember, no one's going to see the inside, so it can be as messy as you want it to be. Yeah, that should have been 1 by 2 1/4, shouldn't it? There we go. So let's press that, and then there we go. Although you can see the shine on the acetate. It does just mean that if you are putting a gift in it, the recipient might see what the gift is. So keep that in mind. Then we're going to go in with these. So let's bring in the Luxury 12 by 12 from Floral Elegance. Now that would be lovely. I am thinking blues though. Real sophisticated. So what about blue with a, what about, so cut the full decorative panel in that with a blue shine matte and layer. Right, let's try it and see. So let's take my card out, and then let's go in with the blue mirror. Right, so you can set that out the way for now. Where's my scissors? Let's get my scissors. So this one, let's cut the two dies together. Let's bring in my stems. Actually, this time I can go in and use up my low tack tape. But we're going to get that as central as we can. You don't have to be bang on, but you know what I'm like, and I know many of you are the same. It's like, no, I need to get it bang on. I need to. Oh gosh, that was a horrible squeak. We're going to then run it through. So this is when we're going to jump to our mini now. Perfectly cut, and then there we go. We've got our decorative cut that you can see here, spot on. So let's pop all these out the way, and it's still held in well with my low tack tape, so I'm not going to remove my low tack tape. I'm just going to pop all these bits out just through my low tack tape, get rid of them all. Die tool if you want to. Do you know what I'm actually going to do now? Is I think still, yes, I thought so, double-sided adhesive sheet. This is going to be spot on. This is going to be absolutely spot on. So let's take another one and let's do a rough cut, and then let's do this one, and then we're going to do a rough cut. So let's pop that onto there. Now remember to stop the tape from sticking to your tools. So whether it's scissors or guillotine, cut onto your card. Don't trim on the adhesive layer itself, cut onto the card, and then that makes it a lot easier. Bring in the mini. Now this might need a little bit of a prod, because that's your cardstock, which is 250 GSM as well. And then you've got your sticky layer and then your non-stick backing. So if we take that out, let's pop that out, which is all cut. Yes, it is. All of that's just the backing. Now this one, because the backing's come off some of it, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my finger to pick up the bits where the backing's come off, and then I can then use my tool to pop out these other bits. And although I've already cut one without the double-sided adhesive sheets, I might still do a third one, so all three will have the adhesive sheet on the back. So the only thing I don't want is if I stick these onto the blue mirror card with the tacky glue, any wet glue, you can get a little bit of streaking, which I don't want, whereas you won't get that with your adhesive sheet. The only thing with the adhesive sheets, just be patient, because it will come out, but you need to remember the edges will be sticky. That hence why they're held in place on the die. So they have die cut, it's just that on the waste bits it's stuck into the side of the die, and the sticky layer is holding it in anyway. So I tend to just push with a pokey tool and then flick from underneath with my finger. I think there's that one, and then there's that one. So any little bits that still have the adhesive layer will stick to your finger. I think that's them all out. Oh, there's just a couple there. So do make sure that you get them, because if you don't, then they're going to stick into that die, which will affect your cutting going forward. It's not going to be nice as crisp or clean. So I'm going to then, let's just go down into this bit here. So this is the one that I done to start with, and there's no adhesive on the back, so I'm going to move that to the side. Let's take that off and that, and let's just stick that down. Again, I'm going to cut onto my card like so. So I'm not actually trimming along the edge, I'm actually cutting onto my card, and then I can just peel off like so. And then let's run that through. So it's going to be a really, really nice way to show how you can use your cracker dies as a way to give gifts, or as a thoughtful gift all throughout the year and not just Christmas. You know, new babies, if you do it in blue or pink, or gender reveals, or you don't know the sex of the baby, then you can do it in yellows or ivories or mint. So again, the ones where the non-stick backing has stayed in place into the die cut, I'm going to press with my finger to take all those little loose bits up, And then I'm just going to then poke and push with my finger underneath all the way around, all the way, taking them out, pushing and prodding, like so. Alternatively, if you don't want to spend the time, that extra little bit of time pushing them out from the adhesive layer, then your dotty tape runner will be your friend. Usually, as you know, the tacky glue is mine, but thinking of the fact that it's going on to the blue mirror, I don't want any of the wet glue to be seen. And it doesn't matter how careful and how little you put on, a lot of the times it still spreads out ever so slightly onto the mirror that's underneath. Alright, there's second one, and then last one, I'm going to cut that again. If it's just that one piece of card, I just go through once, maybe come back twice, but because I've got the adhesive layer on the back, that's why I'm kind of rolling forward and back, so that it is definitely going to cut through the layers. Right, so push, pick up any bits that are sticky, decant them into the bin at the side, or you could keep them and use them to paper piece. And then what I'm going to do is, you can of course use that die on its own with the blue card to create the matting layer, whereas you'll only see the blue shining through, whereas I want to have like a blue edge to it. Or do I? Actually, I'm not sure. Let's have a look in a minute and I'll think about that. Right, so that's all those bits done. Let me take my waste bin and get rid of all of this, because no doubt at some point I'll probably forget and then put my full elbow or arm through it and it'll be all over my floor. And as I say, I've just not that long hoovered up and got every bit picked up. Rightio. So I think we're all good. Let me realign that once again, and then let's go in with our blue mirror, so that will shine through. Of course, these little bits will all come out. So I'm just trying to think, do I want a blue matting layer all the way around, or do I just want that blue within the middle? I think I do want it all the way around. So therefore, what I'm going to do is let's take all these bits out. Let's take the back off. This is all cut. As you can see, all I need to do is pop them out. Pop, pop, pop. And then I'm going to go up to the corner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave myself a little bit of a matting layer. I'm going to go face on, because you don't want to see my grey hairs at the top of my head. And then once I've got my little matting layer top and side, and I'm going to come in with my guillotine. I need to start using my small guillotine for things like this. But it's just habit that I go for my large. So trim there, so I actually need to trim at a bit of an angle. And then take a little slither. Take a slither off there. And then there we go. So we've got a little blue matte layer all the way around. If I use that nesting or that dye that comes with it, you wouldn't get that matte layer. You'd only get the blue within the centre. So that can then go into there. Yeah, I like that. Or as Jim Carrey would say in, I think it's Dumb and Dumber, I like it a lot. I think it was Dumb and Dumber, wasn't it? I like it, yeah. I've not seen that film in ages. I quite fancy watching it now. Right, let's take these little bits out. Let's just do this one as well. It's easier to take them out before you take the backing off. Let's just pop them out. You might find it easier with your die tool. That's entirely up to you. Personal preference. Use whatever you like. But for me, I prefer just to push out with my pokey tool. There we go. And then once you've got all them out, what we can do is take that backing off. There's my straight edge. There it is, straight edge. Now, because I cut with my scissors on this side, I'm not really going to be able to go up at that 90-degree corner. So I'm just going to go to the top. And I'm going to do the same here, leave a little bit of a gap. And then press down. And then bring my guillotine, and we're going to do what we've done with the first one. I'm just leaving a little slither. It's hard to give you the measurement because it is quite frankly a slither. There we go. And then last but by no means least, I'm going to go in slither like so, maybe a tiny wee bit more. And that is our third one. Now these, you can absolutely cut these into your heavyweight pattern paper. No bother at all. So we've got 1, 2, and then we've got 3. Oh, how elegant, sophisticated does that look? So then, if we let's, what shall we do? Let's stick that on. Actually, do you know what we can do? So I've got a little bit of sticky tape stuck on. Let's take no, I know. Oh, pardon me, excuse me. Let's go in with that original colour. Let me just cut a few strips. Let's take that dye. Those two squares in the middle, let's paper piece them. Let's paper piece them. So I could have, I thought on all the waste that came out that middle panel I could have kept, but hey ho. It's done now. And then there's that. So I'm going to do that for the other two as well. So let's just quickly pop these ones out. Of course, there's no double-sided adhesive sheets on this one. And this could be small scraps, just small enough for it to then fit these two little squares. So what I mean by that is it could even be small, as long as it's going to fit the two little squares on the back. That's all that we need. So I'm going to run that one through. So let's pop that middle, plus what it'll also do is it'll slightly shorten the time it takes to take all these out. And then, do you know what I'm also going to do? As I was thinking, because obviously the ends of the crackers would be staying bare, but I don't want them to. But on the other hand, I don't want to do that another 6 times, because you don't need the full one, you'd only need half. So therefore a full rectangle would cover both ends, so that would be another 6 times I'd need to do that, which I don't really want to do that 6 times. So what we can do is let's do, this is now not thinking ahead, because if I take this, cut one of them in that colour and stick it on there, it's going to give it that embossed look, which meant the 3 that I've just cut, I could have cut them to the size that I want, and then I could have used the waste of the inner squares. Never mind. How it works when I have an idea in my head, but I don't know how I'm going to execute it until I'm executing it. So tacky glue, I'm going to go in with my tacky glue into the middle there and then there. Let me pick up my pickup tool and pop that back in. So it just finishes it off slightly. I'm going to do that again there and then there. And then let's pop that there and pop that one in there. And then, last but by no means least, when it comes to paper piecing these back in, we're going to pop that one in there, and then that one into there. So that will all stick into there, so that's coming together. So let's focus on these. So let's bring back in that remaining card and the outline. So I'll need to do this 6 times. 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I bring these in here, in case if you're just a little bit confused at the moment, once I've cut this one, I'll show you exactly where my mind's going. Saying, what do you mean that you need 6? Let's run that through. Now this I'm just going to stick down with tacky glue. Could do it with the double-sided adhesive sheets, but I'm not. So what I was meaning is, because it's exactly the same colour, if I chop that right in half And then what I can do is bring that down. So I'm leaving a layer. You will have an overhang that will trim it off. But if I stick that into here, it's going to give it that kind of pre-embossed look because it's colour on colour. So that's where I'm going, which I actually think is going to look really nice, considering it wasn't on my initial idea of what I was going to do. Sorry, I'm just looking for my die tool. Die release tool. Let's give this a shot here. Maybe it'll make it a little bit quicker, although I do know I need to change. I'm giving up now. If I get it on the floor, I get it on the floor. Let's go back in. Yeah, I need to change the replacement bristle head on my die tool. There we go. And then let's do that again. So let's layer these ones up here. And I am going to, or I will be at some point, whether it's Crafters TV, whether it's Hobby Maker, whether it's both, I will be doing this as a demo. But of course, we don't have the luxury of time to do it start to end. So I'll have sections of this demo that will then be cut down, it'll be shortened. And the idea that I was going with in my mind, which as it stands at the moment, it's going to turn out a little bit better than I thought. It's worthwhile doing this as a tutorial and spending the time and doing the whole lot. So again, they're going to go there, and then there. It'll all be a lot neater once it's glued down. If you're still going, Craig, I'm not sure, bear with me. Please bear with me. And then let's take these ones out. Just a few. And then you can not only theme them for occasions, but theme them for birthdays. Take your number dies and make it bright and bold for a first birthday, or 13th, or 16, 18. Actually, this would be really, really lovely for an 18th birthday, or a 21st birthday, 30th birthday. Definitely kind of like 16, 18, certainly for a girl, where they're growing up. So chop it in half. It doesn't have to be neat because you're going to have the overhang that we're going to trim off. So let's pop these out. And I could do what I'd done originally and leave the double-sided adhesive sheet, double-sided adhesive sheets. I've got the adhesive sheets on the brain. I could use the low-tack tape on the back, but the reason I'm not is because I'm using my die brush. And that won't really work with the low-tack tape still in place. But they're really, really simple to align up. We've just got a little, about a 1mm gap all the way around. So let's press that down and then run that one through. What I'm going to do, and this is where you see that I film these and post these all in real time, I'm away to go and run down to my living room and get my juice or my water. I've left that in the living room. So I'm just away to run down. Let's pop all these bits out. It'll be about 10-15 seconds. Let's clean this out. Right, I'm going to leave you on the overhead just for a moment, and I'm going to be back about 10-15 seconds. Okey-doke. We are all good to continue. So just 2 more to do. So we line up. This whole section, of course, is very repetitive. So you may have fast forward, which is absolutely fine and totally understandable. I'm going to then run that through as well. The decoration will keep simple. You can go to town. I don't want to draw the eye away too much. That can go there. That can go there. Just peel that off. And I'm sure as well, lots of you, like me, are going to have lots of offcuts of cardstock this size. So why not use them up? Because not all panel has to be exactly the same colour. It can be quite funky if they're all different colours. Right, last one. It's going to go into here. Going to line up where we want, where we need. And then we can then feed through. Move my mini out the way for now. What you could also do, oh, I never thought of that. See, it's just so many ideas running through now. I could have used this one on the foil press, foiled it, and then used the die to die cut it out. That would have been awesome. Might need to do that at some point. There we go. So that's all of those done. And I'm just going to then clean this out. So pop all these. Do you know what I'm really inclined to do? And you guys at home, you'll probably be like, right, Craig, okay, now you're pushing it. Now you're getting a bit boring here with it being repetitive. But where I've done the paper piecing on these two, do that within the acetate, but do it with the blue. So I'll do this as quick as I can. If you are still watching at this point, then feel free to skip until I get all 6 of the squares done. But I think that'll be really nice to do that. And it'll just fill, and it'll also flow as well. I'll make the whole cracker flow. Doing something like this, you would hope that the recipient wouldn't bin it, especially not putting all this time into it. Telling you, if I spent all this time like I have, and it's to put a little gift or a little token in for someone that I know, and then they've binned it, oh, I would be raging. Absolutely raging. I know the whole purpose and the whole point, I'm just popping this out here, the whole purpose and the whole point of a cracker is to pull them, but when you're making a handmade cracker, I would be making them as a way to give a gift, and they would open the end, where we come and seal it with some ribbon. That's where I would say that they're going to open it. They're not going to actually pull the cracker apart. Well, that's certainly not my intention when I'm making them for someone. And if you do want them to pull the cracker, I wouldn't necessarily spend lots and lots and, oh God, I just moved them out of the way. Lots and lots and lots of time decorating the cracker for them to come along and do that. But that's up to yourself. There we go. So that's all them now. So let me just clean that last one out. I promise you it will be worth that bit of time cutting extras. So let's go in with our tacky glue into the acetate. There, 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 and then there. And paper piece these back in. So once I've got them in, just slot in each of these. I'm just going to pick up with my pickup tool, get that into place, nudge it in like so. Definitely worthwhile doing that in my opinion. There we go. Right, let's take our glue again and let's start to stick all these half die cuts down. And let's bring that down a bit further. Use your dots if you want to, but I'm just going to sketch over the back. And then the size of the matting layer at the left and the right, I'm going to try and make sure I've kind of got that same bit of distance at the top there. So let's press that down and move that along. And then we're just going to keep repeating. I'm going to go around the edge and just a little bit in the middle. And then press them down. Press and take a drink. And then we're just going to keep working our way around. I tell you what, let's take a bit of printer paper and let's use our dots just to speed it up slightly. So it'll line up. It just gives it that look as though it's been embossed into the edges and that the edges aren't left blank. Still looks nice if you do leave them with no detail, but having something detail wise does finish it off, makes it more attractive. And if you were to sell these, which of course you can do, as many of you know, just spending that little bit extra time and finishing off these edges would be fab. And I would definitely recommend from someone, although I never sold crackers that I made, but I used to sell all my handmade cards. I'm just spending that little bit of extra time putting little extra something onto it was enough to be able to add 50p or £1 onto it. So turn that one around and then let's repeat. It's not often that I come and do a tutorial here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel without a proper plan, as in, right, this layer will be this layer will be that layer will be this colour, I'll emboss with this folder, I'll stencil with this ink. That's usually my plan if I don't already have a finished example that I'd pre-made. This is really the first time where I've gone, right, I've got my cracker die, I'm going to use my two 12x12 cardstock panels from Floral Elegance, and that's it. So for it to start to turn out the way that it is, I am really, really, really chuffed, because I like to be organised, I like to plan, I like to know what I'm doing, and that is why something like this, I'm not going to say off the cuff, because it's not off the cuff, because I knew the die and I knew the card I was making, but without an end example in mind, really, really quite chuffed with how it's looking. Yes, it is going to be a time-consuming project, I'm not hiding that fact, but then you might do bits to speed it up. So second last one into here, and then let's lift that one into here and press down. There we go. So there is our panels, and even then looks nice without these. There's just so many options, so many permutations as to how it can look. So let's trim off the edge. So there's no, of course, no double-sided adhesive sheets on these. So these ones I am trimming right to the edge. It's only if it's got a sticky backing that I don't trim the edge. I'm hoping that all made sense. There we go. So you can see I've got, it's like that stonework detail that you get within stone walls. So there's that one. So let's come along now and let's add these in. So I'm going to what am I going to do? Yes, I'm going to keep flat. Sorry, I was trying to think if I was going to add any of them on a 1mm foam pad, but no, I'm not, because I'll add maybe like a love heart or something in the middle, keeping it simple. What does it say? Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. Let's put that into there. A little bit concerned about layering into the middle panel. Use tacky glue onto the back instead. If you are doing that, remember, use your tacky glue. I wouldn't really use my all-purpose glue, because this is all a coated card. So you want your tacky glue. There we go. So then there is how it's starting to come together. So this will then start to form inwards. Shall I assemble and then decorate to end? Yeah, I think so. So let's go in with a red liner tape. Let's snip that off. Red liner tape or your tacky glue, that's your two main ones. Yes, absolutely, you can use your tape runner because it's a strong adhesion, But as I've said many times, I'm quite old school, so when it comes to construction, it's either red liner tape or tacky glue. So let's press that down. I know Leanne will take one backing off at a time. I don't, I take them all off. And then I'm going to go and let's just align that. So what we're going to have to watch for here, if I overlap, I'm not sure if you can see at the side of that window, this little tab, you can start to see it peeping through that window. So what I need to do is just snip a little bit of that off. So that you don't see it, and that's more than enough, that's fine. So I'm just going to line that up to our scored edge. Like so. I never thought of that, but I'm glad that happened. So I'm able to show you how to work your way around it. I don't need to do the same here because of course there's no acetate window there, so you're not going to see it. So let's align that in, and then let's align that in. So we'll bring our ribbon in a moment, but then there's our crackers coming together. What you could do is, if I said earlier on, like say here, if you chop that off and then just stabilise that as a flat base, battery operated tea light or that in the middle, that would look lovely. So let's take, now I'm just going to go into my box of ribbons. And let's see. So I've got here, that's a deep navy blue, so let's go for that. So I've got this navy blue. So the ribbon that I get, if you don't already know, it's also from Sticks too, where the adhesives that I use. And that is, I can't remember, that must be 6mm, 6mm satin ribbon. If you've got organza ribbon or that, you can use that. So let's go. So wherever I've got my glues, my adhesive tab here, I kind of do that as the back. And then let's take our ribbon, and then we're going to tie that as tight as that will go. And then, do I want a second one? No, I don't. So it makes it a little bit bulky here, because I'm not going to tie a bow. I'm just going to keep it quite taut, like so. Now, if you are doing a 6-sided one, the aperture in the middle is quite sizable. So keep that in mind if you're putting something in it. If you are putting something in it, maybe put it in a little gift bag or cello bag, or maybe put a little bit of cardstock just round there, just to stop it. So there's that one. And then if I take that, and let's do the same again. You can also elongate these. So you can certainly elongate the crackers. Let's turn that one around. Snip at an angle. Snip at an angle. I absolutely blinking love how that's turning out. I really, really am. Now, am I going to keep this simple with the circle, and then I'll find a love heart. I'm not going to add a little tag or that. You can, I'm not. I've got adhesive stuck on my face. What about now? I know this is extreme. And, oh. Yeah, so I was about to say, I know this is extreme. I'm not going to use them. Let's just say we really went to town. Humour me for a moment. Let's... What if... I'm not going to use that whole bunch, by the way. I'm just setting it there. What if... Okay. Got like a little bit of a mint smell. I think I might actually use these. Do you know that? I'm going to do it on... Do you know what I might do? Let's move this. Right, so I'm just going to then just pull and tug. So we've got the acetate window showing. Because I don't want to spend all that time and then you don't see any of that panel. Let's do the same here. Like, just be very careful. You can, if you want to be really careful, just untie it and do it again. And the other side, like so. And then let's just, yeah, should have. Craig, you silly idiot. Should have just done that from the start. Where's my other bit? So we're going to have the acetate window because that'll be covered up slightly. Because it's acetate, it doesn't really matter. But I actually think this would look really, really nice just with a few of these faux flowers. There we go. And then let's take that tape off. If I can get it off. Right, there we go. Right, there we are. So what if, I think actually, yeah, I think the peachy one will be best. So there's that, and then even just that. Of course, we're going to neaten it up. So we can die cut that. And then that can sit, right, okay, yep, let's go with it. So that, I'm just going to keep the, where's the card? There's the card, here we go. I'm going to keep that, no, let's do it. Let's do this colour here. Let's bring this in here. I'm going to have to bring my hot glue gun in as well. So I need to switch that on. So I know obviously we've paper pieced that, but I would rather cover those two than a lot of that panel there. Hot glue. So I'm just going to switch this one on. Get that heated up. and start to then finish off. We can put that one on. We can then put that one on, and then I think we'll need all of that. And that can then go on just to finish. Yeah, just to finish. Right, let's pop some glue on the back there, and that can sit on into there. So we're just going to let that grab. It's also going to give us a little bit of time to heat up our glue gun. And then actually, because maybe all that will be a bit too much, what if I used a few of these Oh, I know. Let's just do these two blues, because that blue's going to work in, of course, with the blue card. And then let's do a wax seal in the middle. Right, let me get my lighter. And then that will be it done. Right. Let's go in. And then, yeah, I'm not going to add a sentiment because the wax seal says love. So let's take the handle and we'll do... Let's do a bit of blue and white. So let's start to do the blue first. I'm just going to then melt that, and I'm going to tilt that to the side so it starts to drop. If you've got your wax seal kit, you could have just chopped a little bit of this off and put it in the wax seal kit. So tilt that and melt that. Tilt to melt. That doesn't quite work, does it? We're just going to keep melting. So we're just going to keep letting that go. And it's a bit harder for you to see exactly what I'm doing, but I need to try and keep it in the same spot to keep it relatively circular. And then before that starts to dry, let's melt a little bit of white. I should have started the white first, because that will start to then go hard. But let's... There we go. So all that I'm doing. And then let's press that down. Whew. So I'm going to set that just to the side for a moment. And then let's come in. Where's my glue sticks? Because I've now run out of glue sticks. So let's just heat the end of that with my nozzle. And then stick that into the end of the last remaining glue stick. And then let's put a nice blob. Let's put that one there. And then let's put that one there. Let's make sure that's nicely stuck. And then let's just add some hot glue, seeing as tacky glue's not sticking. So let's pop that in. Of course, be careful because it is hot, but I'm just going to press with my finger because I don't really feel it because I've done it that much. There we go. You can see how it's starting to look. Let's come in. I don't actually know if I like that little bit. I should have twiddled it a bit. Right. Let's start that again and let's get a bit more blue. Ouch. We'll not do the white. We'll just do the blue. Let's heat that. Is that going to go? It'll be easier if I trim it down. There we go. I do it downstairs. I've got one of those lighters, you know, the longer lighters that are easier to go into your glass jars. What I'm doing here, if you can't quite see, I'm actually just melting the wax just to speed it up a bit because I need a wee bit more than I had before. So let's keep going and going and going. Keep melting and melting. Keep going. There we go, and then let's go. There we go, squidging out the end, so it's good. Lets me know that I've got enough. And then what I'll do is I'll take some rose gold gilding wax and we'll just go ever so slightly over the rose gold or over the wax seal, just to pick out the word love, and then that will have turned out a lot better than even I was thinking in my mind. Okay, it's been a time consuming one, although it would have been quicker if I knew exactly what I was doing. But big parts of that, if you're wanting to watch again, at least then you know there's big parts of that you can just skip, because I'm not actually saying much. But it's at your guys' request that I do post these unedited. So your wish is my command. So let's there we go, that's better. Just see that there. Put that in. The white can go in. Yeah, stick the blue in. I'm just going to stick that in because I might use it another time. And then, you know what I should have done? This is me not thinking, is it? Wonder if that glue gun's still hot enough. I wonder if it's still hot. Yeah, it is. Let's bring that in. Oh, I've not done my wax yet. Right, well let's get that dried. Where's my ribbon gone? My ribbon's come off. Let's get another bit of ribbon. Finish that off. with a bit of wax, and that will be that. Alright, let's get fresh ribbon. There's my ribbon scissors. You know what I shall do? Let's just retie. I'm not sure if Sticks to still have the navy blue satin ribbon, but as always, what I will do is have a look. If they do, I shall link it in the description. So let's bring that, tie that in. Could you imagine? Well, that's, if I look at my timer here, okay, I've been doing this for an hour and a half, but an hour and a half, if you make this, you'll probably be able to get it done, because you'll know the bits that you're cutting by following me. Say you do this in an hour, how much could you get for that if you sell? And then if you're batch making and making it look exactly the same, you can sit on the couch and just batch make. Look at that. Let's bring in a little bit of, have I got rose gold? Nope. Typical. Okay, it's going to have to be king gold. Let's bring that in. Ideally, I would do this before I stuck it down, but I forgot. So let's add a little bit on the flowers, and then there we go. I'm going to say this, I blinking love that. I absolutely love how that's turned out. The floral elegance, beautiful. The way that it looks, let's come a little bit closer, and it even says love. Let's just tighten that a little bit more. Flipping heck. Okay, I think I'm going to have to tie a knot. I know, forgive me, I know I've wasted, well, I've not, because I'll reuse them, but for this part here, I know I've wasted some ribbon. So let's do it again, but we will double knot it this time. Sometimes I just find double knotting can look a little bit chunky. Alternatively, what you could do is, as we go and tighten it, put some glue in between. That would work. But let's do a double knot. And then let's snip. And then snip. And then let's double knot. And then snip. Snip there. That's not going to come out. Snip there. There we go. That's better. So we've got our gorgeous Christmas cracker that's now no longer for Christmas. Brilliant for wedding. And that's using 2 of the Floral Elegance 12x12 paper pads, the dried flowers, and then of course the wax seal. And then there we go. Let's bring that one in there for you guys to see a little bit closer up. So let's turn that around. There we are, and then I shall spin around, and then there we go. There is your Christmas cracker. Remember, if you didn't already know, as I said previous, you can make that smaller if you want by just chopping away panels. You can make it longer if you want, and just by adding middle panel. You can then, of course, chop one of the bottoms of the cracker off, flatten it, so then you've got the top part of the cracker. So there's many, many, many ways in which you can use this one die set. So yes, a time consuming tutorial for this one. Big parts of this you'll be able to skip forward if you're going to rewatch this again. But there you go, our brand new cracker, as and when I'm filming this, for then you to be making at home. Rightio, I hope you enjoyed that one. Let me know what you think of the cracker. I will add as much detail in the description as I possibly can, and then you can replicate till your heart's content. Rightio, I will see you again very soon on my Crafters Companion YouTube channel. Take care, and we'll see you then. Doodles.